The science of today is the technology of tomorrow. These wise words were once spoken by the great Hungarian American physicist Edward Teller, well known as the father of the hydrogen bomb.
A very good morning to respected Father Crispino, Father Orville, Meena ma'am, Anita ma'am, Aarti ma'am, teachers, and our dear friends. We take immense pride and pleasure in welcoming you to our very first online science exhibition.
We would also like to welcome Ms. Anupa and Ms. Ritu, our judges for today. They are our own faculty who teach science in the secondary and IBDP sections. They are experienced teachers and experts in their own subject, chemistry and physics respectively. Ms. Anupa holds an MSc degree in inorganic chemistry and currently she is pursuing an MA in psychology. Ms. Ritu is an MSc in physics with a specialization in electronics and radiophysics. She has also completed a diploma in computer application. Students of grade 7 have been working day and night for the past fortnight, thinking and coming up with innovative ideas to help society. The theme for this year's science exhibition is food and technology.
Science and technology are molding our lives in every aspect. Scientific education has acted as an important facilitator to enable us not to think deeply, but to think clearly.
Having science exhibitions in school harbor our skills. They promote creativity. Leadership skills are too needed in abundance. A science exhibition is the best way to test them in a competitive base.
It has a holistic development of critical thinking, communication, analysis, and of course, presentation skills all packed in one.
So, without further ado, let's start the festivities by bringing forth our first group. This group addresses one of the most common problems of people who can't cook or don't have the time to cook. They will also present another idea which tackles one of the most embarrassing problems a person can face, yellow teeth. Let's hear them out.
RoboChef, a food tech project by Johan Wang,
Arush Kamdar,
Savya Nadar,
Ganeshi,
Initial party.
Our backstory. We recently realized that many people have been facing the issue of sacrificing their homemade meals for work. We had come up with the idea of the RoboChef while discussing about our robotics lessons. It felt like a cool but a challenging idea, as it was not new, but it was quite different from what we usually do. But we stood up to the challenge, and here we are, presenting to you the RoboChef.
This is the way. After a tiring day of work, you want to relax and want someone else to cook your meal. But you must cook it yourself. Or do you? Have the money, but you're stuck. You have the food, but you can't cook. You have the stove, but not a chef. You need a RoboChef. We have created a prototype of the world-renowned RoboChef. It cooks your food while you can chill.
Now, our group member Ishal Bhatia will show us how the RoboChef works.
Hey guys, here I am with my programmable RoboChef with a stirring function. Here we can control the stirring speed, duration and frequency of the stove. So right now I'm going to be cooking a simple dish like Maggi to help demonstrate to you how the RoboChef can cook while you are free to do other tasks. So let's start the cooking. First we are going to switch on the flame and then hit the button of the RoboChef. And it will continue to stir with gaps of 15 seconds for an entire 5 minutes. And after 2 minutes, it is going to alert the owner to switch the gas to a lower flame. So now the time has come to switch the gas to a low flame. So here you go, I'll switch it to a low flame. And now it will continue to stir the Maggi until it is fully prepared. So now it's telling me that the Maggi has been prepared. And now I'm going to turn it off completely.
The White Wall, the second food tech project by the creators of the Robo Chef.
The reason for its creation. We have all gone through the experience of not grooming ourselves just for not getting late for work. Brushing is very essential for our own hygiene and so that we are able to present ourselves to others around us without any embarrassment. Thus, our group thought of creating a gum drop which can cleanse your mouth even at work without any embarrassment.
Wall reveal. The white wall is a gum drop that contains chemicals such as fluoride, etc., that act as cleansing agents. These gum drops are effective and they can be used to cleanse us if we need to go somewhere urgent.
Let's see the making of a white wall. First, we took the gum base, citric acid, corn syrup, and glycerine in a bowl. Then, for heating, we put it in a microwave oven for 45 seconds. Stir it in intervals. Add fluoride and strawberry flavoring to it. We had our friend Savion online with us via Zoom. We put 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar over it. We rolled it and then we cut them into thin slices. We shaped them into circles, then placed them on the parchment paper. We sprinkled powdered sugar on it. Now the white walls are ready to clean your teeth.
Finally, we would also like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Rekha Gada, Ms. Aditi Parekh, and Ms. Shilpa Pandey. We would like to credit the Imperial Sugar Company for helping us with the recipe of the white wall. We would also like to give thanks to Mandira ma'am for the motivation and help. Thank you.
That was a brilliant idea and was very well thought out, keeping in mind the nutrition and importance of food. The other idea was equally impressive and will help multiple people facing this issue. Judges, would you like to pose any questions to Group 1?
No, thank you, Varnika. Next up, we have a group which promises to not let you starve while dieting. Let's hear from Ashna, Prisha, and Naisha.
Good morning, Father Crispino, Miss Meena, all teachers, the judges, and our beloved friends.
Today, our group will be talking to you about the perfect diet.
You must be thinking, why did we choose this topic? Well, we have noticed that whenever adolescents, or even adults, want to lose weight, they usually starve themselves, and we wanted to stop them.
Our project's name is Calorie Bites. We chose this name as it portrays how we maintain the appropriate calories without starving ourselves and while eating delicious and healthy meals.
This project won't just benefit us, but it will benefit many people around the world. It is a new way to remain fit and happy with the food you eat. It won't only let you lose and maintain your weight, but it will also help many people accept themselves and overcome their insecurities while enjoying their meals.
In the future, we hope our app in the future we hope our app and research will affect many people around us to expand and share our knowledge with others. Let's begin showcasing our work.
Diets are usually starving yourself and controlling your calories to the bare minimum. But what if we change that? What if the new diet existed where you could eat comfortable, tasty, and filling foods around 5 times a day? Well, we have figured it out. This diet will not only help you lose weight, but also make you feel as if you aren't dieting at all. There are different nutrients such as carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, and vitamins. We are going to show you how to get the right amount of all nutrients without eating junk and without starving to lose weight. The diet is a mix and match diet, where you can make your own schedule and choose what you feel like eating on which day. We have options for all vegetarians, non-vegetarians, and even vegans. So what are you waiting for? Here's a new and comfortable and mainly flexible diet you can follow while getting the nutrients needed, staying healthy, and losing weight.
The different vegetarian diet options are: for breakfast, you can have fruits and milk and cereal and many other options. For lunch, you can have paneer wrap, beef wrap, burrito, and various other options. For evening snacks, you can have nuts, healthy and unhealthy, and many more other options. For dinner, you can have a salad of any type and wheat pasta, etc. For dessert, you can have 2 small pieces of dark chocolate, which is 63% or higher. The vegan diet food options are: for breakfast, you can have tofu scramble or tofu toast, and you can read the other options. For lunch, you can have mac and vegan cheese and Thai salad and various. For evening snacks, you can have nuts and coffee, hummus and lavash and other options. For dinner, you can have any lentils and tofu salad, and you can read the other options. For dessert, you can have 3 small pieces of dark vegan chocolate. The non-veg diet food options are: for breakfast, you can have omelette or scrambled eggs and 2 more other options. For lunch, you can have rice with fish or roasted chicken and 2 more other options. For snacks, you can have a healthy fruit smoothie or nuts. For dinner, you can have mackerel fish baked on banana leaves without oil, or roasted chicken and 2 more other options.
Our group has also prepared a model which shows the balance of nutrition we need in our body. The lowest layer consists of carbohydrates, which should be consumed in the highest proportion, after which we have the vitamins and fibers, which should be taken in a bit lesser proportion than carbohydrates. In a bit lesser proportion, the proteins should be taken. Fats should be taken in the least proportion. Lastly, we must consume enough water as it provides minerals. So this is our model: the carbohydrates, vitamins, fiber, proteins, and fats.
We are in the 21st century, and no one reads a newspaper in their hand, but instead on a screen, which is why we made an app.
Our app tells you the calories, fats, and proteins in any food item you desire.
If you're even wondering how many calories are in this item and if it's healthy for you, we have a solution for it.
Knowing if you are eating healthy or not takes less than a minute. All you have to do is enter your food item and you have the answer. Let's take oats as an example. If you type oats in this section, just click on find calories, fats and proteins and you'll have your answer in no time. Same way for sandwich or many other options.
With the use of this app, you will be more aware of what you're consuming every day and if it's benefiting you or harming your body.
If you are eating healthy or not, eating unhealthy food every day doesn't only increase your weight, but it also reduces your stamina, increases laziness, and is linked to a higher risk of obesity, depression, digestive issues, heart diseases, and strokes, and type 2 diabetes.
Which is why we hope this app helps you maintain your daily diet and desire of eating whatever you wish to.
We would like to give a huge thank you to our eco-tourism channel for helping us with the non-vegetarian diet, Karthik Bhatia Foodie and Grade 9 for guiding us through the app, and the few sites we visited for more information.
Thank you, Father Crispino, Miss Meena, our teachers, the judges, and our beloved friends for your valuable time.
That was truly amazing. I agree. Multiple people find it hard to diet and not starve at the same time. Well done, guys. Judges, are there any questions for this group?
Yes, Varnika, I have a small question for this group. Good morning, children. You've done a fabulous job. My question is, the diet which you prescribe for the across various, people, vegan and vegetarian, non-vegetarian was really impressive. But I just wanted to know that the diet which you have prescribed, is it across all age groups?
Yes, it's for all age groups because it's more of a mix and match diet, so you can even choose what you like eating. And there are
Yes.
few things which you don't like, you cannot eat that.
Okay, because the calorie requirement for every group is different. So that is the reason why I wanted to know whether it's across different age groups.
Yes, Miss.
Sorry?
Yes, Miss. This is a mix match diet, so you can choose what you want to eat. But we wouldn't recommend younger children drinking coffee. As in one of our options, we've written coffee, black coffee. So we would.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question too. Actually, I loved your app, which calculates the calories for each food material. But I would also like to ask you, how do you think you can improvise on the app? What do you think you could have, added as an extension to your app?
We think that we could have added like the full diet option maybe on the app itself, so people can refer to everything at one time and make their meal for the day.
Also, do you think what Ms. Ritu just suggested, we could also add age, gender, right? Other lifestyle as an option to your app, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Honestly speaking, it takes a lot more time to decide what to make for food than it takes to prepare it. Well, the Foodie app has this all wrapped up. It helps you store, search, and share recipes at your fingertips. Let's hear more about the Foodie app from Sakshi, Kavisha, Chumi, Vrisha, and Nicole.
A very good morning to Father Crispino, Father Orville, Meena ma'am, judges, teachers, and the fellow students. We are the Foodie app.
More about the app. There are 4 parts to the Foodie app. The first part allows you to search the app for recipes that other users have shared. Second part allows you to keep recipes that you have made or recipes that have been passed down generations by your family, private. The third part allows you to share the recipes with other foodie users. And the fourth part allows you to save your playlist.
More about the fingerprint. There is a fingerprint pad in the center of the plus-shaped speaker. This fingerprint lock can store a lot of fingerprints and you need a password to add another fingerprint. Using the Foodie app, you can manage all the fingerprints. This fingerprint can be used to keep all your personal recipes private if you don't want to share it. If you are worried that someone might hack into your account, there is no need to worry. Thank you.
All the wise, you might be wondering why the Foodie speaker is plus shaped. Well, there are many reasons, but the first is originality. Have you ever seen a speaker that is plus shaped? Well, we hope your answer is no. There have been many speakers made, but 90% of them are either circular, cylindrical, or rectangular, and only 10% of them are very unique. The Foodie speaker is designed so that it stands out. Another reason is because in usual speakers, you have only one place from where the sound comes, but in the Foodie speaker, the voice emanates from 8 different places, and this way the audio is much better heard.
Why you should use this app? This app helps you in many ways. If you buy the Foodie app and speaker, you won't need to waste your time in asking friends and families the recipes, writing them down on paper, losing the paper, and then start asking all over again. Through the Foodie app, you and your friends or family can virtually contact each other, and you won't need to worry about losing the recipe as long as you have the Foodie app.
This is our app. This is how our homepage looks. There are 4 options. One is share recipes. When you click on it, you get to see your recipes, the ones you have shared, and where you can share more. Going back to the home page, there is a second option that says private recipes, which if you click on will show you your saved recipes which are not public. For example, a cookie like this. Going back to the home page, you can edit your playlist. And the last option is where you can search for more recipes shared by other users. And then there is a settings option where you can add fingerprints, remove them, and change your password.
The information shared in this presentation was completely original. No sites were used.
Thank you for your attention and your precious time. We hope you learned something today.
That was utterly wonderful. I'm downloading this app right away. Judges, do you have any questions?
No, Vanchika, I don't have any question. Thank you.
Have you ever heard of a combo app and a chatbot?
Just one second. Judges, with your permission. And the next group is facing some internet issues. So they will be presenting at the end, that is the end of 7th B. Okay. So Arush, if you can just change and call the next group then.
Sure, ma'am.
The Project of Instant Energy group is as the name says. They have made a healthy and tasty food item which gives you instant energy and is portable. Let's hear them out.
Moksh's group, Moksh, Trisha.
Yes, ma'am. 1 second, and my PPT is opening. So our group's name is we haven't decided a group's name, but in our group we are the Portable Healthy Food by Trisha, Moksh, Tanisha, Vedant, and Grace.
Cereal. A cereal is any grass cultivated for the edible components of its green composed of the endosperm, germ, and bran. The cereals are high in fiber and low in sugar. Cereals' health benefits are low in saturated fat.
Making of the cereal. So we first baked the almonds and the pumpkin seeds. Then we added jaggery and the cereal with the pumpkin seeds and the almonds. Then we mixed it together. After that we poured the milk and then enjoyed it. So it is healthy also, and plus it will give us instant energy. Laddus.
Laddu. The ingredients in it are ghee, dalia, and sugar. This laddu is even added in diet plans for toddlers. The laddu is very rich in fiber and is a good medium of carbohydrates. This laddu is good for heavyweight problems and diabetes.
The making of it. So we first mixed ghee, dalia, and sugar. So we could have added anything else, but we added ghee to make it healthy. Then we mixed it. Then next we shaped it, which we will show a little clip of it in the next slide, and then we enjoyed it. So this is a little clip of how we mixed it and shaped it. So now information on the ingredients that we use. So oats. So oats are the only cereal that contain a globulin or legume-like protein, or amylin as you call it, as the major 80% protein in it. Then dried roasted pumpkin seeds, which we use for the cereals, are 2% water, 49% fat, 15% carbohydrates, and 30% protein. Then almonds, which again we use for the cereals, were 4% water, 22% carbohydrates, 21% protein, and 50% fat. And we could have added sugar to the dalia, to the laddu, so it would become sweeter, but instead we added jaggery, which is again organic, because it is rich in carbohydrates, and carbohydrates is what we use to produce energy in our body. And it has natural properties which stimulate the digestive enzymes. It's rich in minerals, phosphorus, calcium, and iron. Credits of it for the cereals, the ingredients which we use for the cereals were Trisha and Tanisha, for the laddus Vedant, and for the PPT everyone helped for it.
Nicely done, everyone. Considering a lot of wastage of foods, judges, do you have any questions for this group? Sorry.
Yeah, I have one small question. I cannot wait to sample those yummy looking laddus. But I have one small question, and that is, how do you propose to, change the constituents of the laddu for diabetic people? So diabetes is mostly because of sugar. But in this, what we used was organic jaggery. So many diabetes patients, they can't have their favorite food because of diabetes. But this is a laddu which they can use, and it's not only like if a young person eats it, they'll tell it's an old people's food. It's this one thing which everyone can eat of all age groups, and it's healthy for everyone. So what would you add instead of jaggery, so that even the diabetic people
So I
can
wouldn't,
have?
if anyone like diabetes, then we wouldn't actually add jaggery. Jaggery is just for an extra sweetness, but otherwise also without jaggery, it actually tastes very good, and it's actually tried and tested.
Oh, thank you.
Moving on to the next group. Considering a lot of wastage of foods due to limited shelf life has enabled scientists to develop a process where food can be preserved with the help of gamma rays. Vanshika's project shows us how this is done.
Respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends, my presentation today is on the challenging topic faced by the food industry on how to increase the shelf life of eatables. It is observed that tons and tons of food is discarded because it becomes unsafe for human consumption after a certain time. Apart from creating a worldwide shortage of food, consumption of food with an expired shelf life leading to ill health and various diseases is noticed. Technology has stepped into this sector and discovered numerous ways of preserving food. Dehydration, deep freezing, packing under nitrogen, and pasteurization are some of them. My project today is based on how irradiation of food by gamma rays increases the shelf life of foods. Food irradiation. So food irradiation is a brilliant example of developed technology that improves the safety and extends the shelf life of foods by reducing or destroying harmful microorganisms. The process of irradiation is, the irradiation involves exposing of food to X-rays and gamma rays in measured doses. Packaged foods move along a conveyor belt and each of them is placed under an equipment emitting low-value gamma radiation under carefully controlled conditions. So a few advantages of irradiation are: irradiation prevents stale foodborne illnesses. It destroys and inactivates microorganisms like Salmonella and E. coli. Food irradiation destroys insects on tropical fruits and decreases the use of pesticides. It delays sprouting and ripening and increases the shelf life. Sterilized foods are served to patients in hospitals with low immunity. Some foods approved for irradiation are beef, pork, lobster, shrimp, poultry and eggs, fresh fruits and vegetables, lettuce and spinach, seeds, spices and seasonings. The safety of irradiated foods. FDA, the Food Drug Administration, WHO, the World Health Organization, and FSSAI, Food Safety and Standard Act of India, have concluded that irradiated foods are safe and wholesome. It is scientifically proved that there is no toxicity and nutritional deterioration in irradiated foods. Consumers' appreciation to irradiated foods is becoming popular. Good manufacturing practices and good irradiation practices should be followed. Labeling. It is mandatory that irradiated foods carry an international symbol along with a statement treated with irradiation on every package. The precautionary measures. Irradiation is not a replacement for proper food handling by producers and consumers. Irradiated food needs to be stored, handled, and cooked like non-irradiated foods. Basic food safety and hygiene has to be followed to prevent recontamination with microorganisms. So a few effects of irradiation are: fruits and vegetables stay longer and fresh for a longer time after harvesting. Food irradiation prevents sprouting of potatoes and onions and keeps them fresh and edible for many months. Thank you. Now we will move on to a model of irradiation designed by me.
Now, I will move on to a small model designed by me to show how irradiation of foods is carried out on a commercial level. Cartons of packaged foods are placed on a conveyor belt that stops for a small duration under a funnel-like structure fitted with a cobalt radioactive element emitting low-value gamma rays. A sensor fitted on the pillar makes and breaks the circuit, producing the rays with a small beep. Every package is thus irradiated in the similar manner. A close look at the working model makes the whole process seem crystal clear. irradiated foods now stands to be debated. Thank you.
Wow, that was so impressive. I learned a lot. Judges, would you like to ask Vanchika some questions?
Varnika, I have no questions to ask. Thank you.
Vanshika, I would like to ask you, do you think there is, when you irradiate a food material, do you think there will be, decrease in the nutritional value, or will it affect the nutritional value of the fruit?
When foods are irradiated, there is no decrease in nutrition value. It is scientifically proven by the FDA, that is the Food Drug Administration.
Okay. Is it permitted in all the countries?
Yes, miss.
Okay.
But every irradiated food must contain a small label saying food irradiated.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, let us move on to grade 7B, who have come up with an array of different projects ready to present their work. Coming up, we have the first group, which consists of Anahita, Priyana, Shlok, Vihan, and Vedant, 5 students who are explaining the topic of food adulteration. Let's hear them out.
Good morning, Father Crispino, Meena ma'am, our teachers, judges, and my dear friends.
Our topic is food adulteration. What is food adulteration? Food adulteration is the practice of adulterating food or contaminating of food materials by adding few substances which are called adulterants. Adulterants are the substances added to food items for economic and technical benefit. Adding these adulterants reduces the value of nutrients in the food.
Why is food adulteration done? So it could be used as part of business strategy and intimation of other food substances. It can be used to increase the quantity of food production and sales, and it could be used to make maximum profit from food items by fewer investments. So
Examples of food adulteration. Turmeric powder. The adulterants are yellow dye, sawdust, and chalk dusts. The effects are cancer and stomach disorders. Sugar. The adulterants are washing powder, plastic crystals, or chalk dust, and the effects are stomach disorders and kidney failure. Pepper. The adulterants are dried papaya seeds and blackberries, and it could lead to severe allergic reactions and stomach and skin irritation.
iron fillings in leaves. So the step 1 is take small quantity of tea leaves in a glass plate. The step 2 is move the magnet through the tea leaves. Pure tea will show no iron fillings on the magnet. And if the tea leaves are adulterated and if the magnet is upon the tea, then the iron fillings will stick to the magnet and will be seen. So this is a way how you can ensure your tea is adulterated or not.
Hi, I am Vihan, and today we're going to do the detection of artificial color in green peas. So the first step is to put green peas in 2 separate glasses. Then add little water and mix it well. So now, if you can see the clear separation of water, the clear separation of color in water indicates adulteration, and this glass indicates that this has pure peas, and this the peas, they have artificial color in it and they are adulterated. Thank you.
Our topic is using technology to check the adulteration of food. Today we're going to show you how to use a densometer to check the adulteration in milk.
This is a densometer. This checks the density of milk.
Often, milk gets adulterated with water, detergent, urea and other chemicals, and as a result, the density of milk decreases. Now let's see what happens when you put the densometer in milk. So as you can see, the densometer only sinks until the mark of milk.
So now let's put the densometer in milk which is adulterated with water and let's see what happens. So now as you can see, the densometer has gone down to the level of water. That is because there is water with the milk, which tells that it is adulterated. So now we can conclude that the density of pure milk is higher than the density of adulterated milk. And from this we also know how you can check if the milk is adulterated or not.
How to prevent adulteration in food. According to the National Health Service and Food Research Institute, many food products have been adulterated to raise the quantity and make a bigger profit. Adding adulterants to food products are very common in many developing countries. Every year, the 7th of April is celebrated as World Health Day, and the World Health Organization tries to bring awareness about the adulterations of food products. These are some things you can do to avoid adulteration. Avoid colored and processed foods. Clean all store-bought grains and pulses. Wash the fruits and vegetables that you buy before you use them. Make sure that all the products you buy are FSSAI validated and have a product license.
Advantages of detection food adulteration. Adding adulterants of food items decrease the nutritional value of foods. Food adulteration can have many harmful effects, like it can lead to body paralysis, or in some higher cases, it can even lead to death. It is a very toxic thing for the body, and some of the effects are liver and kidney disorders, and some of the higher effects are even heart failures. So it is important to detect adulterants in food before eating or selling them. And we showed you all many ways how to do it, and those ways are very cheap and cost effective also.
These are some of the sites we use to research.
Wow, this presentation really opened my eyes. Judges, are there any questions for this group?
Not from me, dear.
Not from me too, thank you.
Moving on to the next group, we have Arya, Rachit, Avishai, Sarthak, and Jian, stating that developments take place every second, and genetic engineering helps the world in ways of poverty, hunger, increased crop yields, etc. The world has become a utopia itself. Let's see what this group has in store.
Good morning, dearest judges, teachers, and my dear friends. Today we are going to be talking about genetically modified crops. Overview. Genetic modification of plants involves adding a specific stretch of DNA into the plant's genome. This will be further explained a little later. Adding this stretch of DNA can give the plant new characteristics or make it different in many ways as desired. We have a small video.
Natural selection tends to favor plants that can compete for light, water, and nutrients, defend them from being eaten, and disperse their seeds over long distances. These characteristics are in direct conflict with the goals of agriculture, where farmers want plants to invest as many of their resources as possible into making nutritious and easy to harvest plants. Genetic improvements has been a central pillar to prove the agriculture productivity, with modern crop variety being much higher yielding and generally more nutritious than their wild ancestors. Even with a modern crop variety continue to being improved. New characteristics can be introduced into crops using conventional crossbreeding or genetic modification, GM for short. The characteristics of living organisms such as size, color, and shape are determined by their genes and their interaction with the environment. With improvements in our knowledge about which plant genes do what, we now know many genes that can contribute into improving sustainable food production. In some cases, conventional breeding will be the best way to deploy these changes. That is, by crossbreeding the crop variety with a plant that contains the genes providing these characteristics. In other cases, GM, where scientists take a gene and insert it directly into a crop, might be easier or indeed the only way they could be deployed.
Advantages. The plants are more nutritious food. They are prevented through diseases and drought. They require fewer resources such as water and fertilizers. They grow faster. They have increased shelf life of food, which means they can be stored. And they can increase your crop. Downsides. They can be dangerous to other insects that are important to our ecosystem. For poor farmers, the cost is too much to handle. Because genetic modification is a new technology, it has not been assessed well at.
There are many different disadvantages, but there come even more advantages to GM crops. Let us look at a few examples. Golden rice. Golden rice is a genetically modified crop that increases the nutritional value of rice. Golden rice is genetically modified in order to produce beta-carotene, which is not normally produced in rice. When beta-carotene is metabolized in the human body, it is converted into vitamin A. Vitamin A is needed for many different functions. It also provides healthier skin, immune system, and better vision. This greatly helps to combat the vitamin A deficiency disease, or VAD. Golden rice is very crucial in countries where rice is more like the staple food, because this gives the nutrition that normal rice cannot give you.
BT cotton. Bacillus thuringiensis is a naturally occurring pest-resistant bacteria that prevents harmful pests from attacking crops. India produced BT cotton in 2002. This greatly decreased the use of pesticides and a vast difference in quality was seen. This is one of the major reasons why India is currently the largest exporters of cotton in the world.
flavor savor tomatoes. These tomatoes are more resistant because the tomatoes have genomes that make the tomato softer. It makes it rot faster. But genetically modifying it, they remove the gene that makes it so, and so it is hard enough to sustain for longer.
Genetic modification is the future. According to a report from the World Resources Institute, genetically modified food will play a key role in fulfilling the needs of a growing world population, which is expected to rise up to 10 billion until 2050. In order to combat this challenge, the cultivation of GM crops must be optimized. This can be done if governments offer these seeds to farmers at concessional prices. By doing this, the country will benefit commercially due to the higher crop yields, and it will be able to ensure a hunger-free future for all its citizens.
This is our bibliography. And thank you very much for listening.
That was amazing. Would the judges like to ask any questions to this group?
Yeah, I have one question for this group. The presentation was really very good. My question is that you're talking about golden rice in which, vitamin A has been fortified. Now, if suppose a person who is a rice eater takes rice in all the 3 meals of the day, do you think that there would be excess of vitamin A which could cause some toxicity in the body of the consumer? So how do you propose to maintain the optimum level in the body?
Yes, ma'am. So, as they say, anything in excess is poison. So, all of us should keep in mind that we should not eat like the same kind of food which can like harm us, even though it has a lot of nutrients, but even a lot of nutrients in our body can harm the body. So, we have to make sure, like other groups presented, we maintain a balanced diet so that we get all the various types of nutritions instead of focusing on only one of the type.
Okay, thank you. Maybe the excess is given out of the body, maybe excreted out.
Yes, ma'am, but some of the toxins still remain in the body which cannot be given out.
Okay, thank you.
Next up, we have Varnika, Suhani, Jia, Arjun, and Ashish explaining the topic of encapsulation of flavors, a viable way to ensure effective flavor release.
Flavors play a very important role in consumer satisfaction and influences further consumption of food. These aroma substances are very expensive and at the same time are very delicate and volatile. They get easily oxidized too when exposed to air, leading to the deterioration in flavor quality.
Preserving these flavors has become a top concern for food manufacturers. To limit degradation or loss during processing and storage, it has become very important to encapsulate volatile ingredients before use in any food and beverages.
Here, technology has stepped in and found ways of preserving the flavors in the foods for a very long time and also releasing it under controlled conditions. Encapsulation is a technique in which the molecule of the flavor is coated or entrapped by another material. The coated material is the active flavor, while the outside coat is the shell. The flavor compound is thus protected and is isolated from the external media.
The process of encapsulation, even though complex, is very simple and easy to understand. The liquid flavor is first mixed with different types of starch, gums, and stabilizers to form an emulsion.
The emulsion is then sprayed slowly in a drying chamber, which heats up to 300 degrees Celsius, converting it into tiny particles. These particles are surrounded by an outer layer made up of starch and gums.
The flavor is released only when the outer shell is subjected to a certain amount of heat or is broken by external pressure like chewing. Because of many advantages, encapsulated flavors have gained ground over conventional ones.
Here's a diagram explaining the process.
A few advantages of encapsulation are: first, it converts liquid flavors into powder form, making it easier to incorporate them in dry food mixtures like chocolate drinks or tea. It prevents undesirable interaction between the food ingredients and the flavor molecules. The particles of desired shape and size can be obtained. It also enables a longer shelf life of those flavors.
It allows a controlled release at the right time and as intended. Multicolored granules of encapsulated flavors improve the look of the product. Encapsulated flavors are rapidly soluble in liquids. Encapsulated flavors are used as ingredients in the food industry for application such as rapid preparation for desserts, cakes, biscuits, tea bags, loose tea, coffee, instant drinks, and confectionery.
Dehydration of food is when all the moisture is extracted out of a certain food to ensure that the food lasts longer. Whereas encapsulation is when a flavor has been coated so that it has a slow release and the flavor lasts longer and is more prominent.
Dehydration is an ancient practice. Encapsulation is a relatively newer technology.
Dehydration was discovered in mid-1790s, whereas encapsulation was discovered in the late 1930s.
Dehydrating the food helps preserve it as lack of moisture helps to kill bacteria, as bacteria requires moisture to grow. This helps the food gain a longer shelf life.
When a flavor is encapsulated, it releases much slower than, say, a liquid of the same substance would. For example, cookies made from vanilla powder, which is encapsulated, would have a stronger vanilla taste than cookies made with the same vanilla essence. When any liquid flavor is exposed to heat while being cooked, the flavor deteriorates.
Here is a working model explaining the process of encapsulation.
Now, we have designed a model of a simplest form of a machine used in the encapsulation of flavors commercially. The flavor to be encapsulated is first converted into an emulsion with the help of certain edible food-grade substances such as gum arabic and maize starch in a high-speed stirrer. The homogenized mixture is then pumped into an atomizer that converts the emulsion into microdroplets. These microdroplets are forced into a cylindrical vessel called a spray dryer, which has hot air circulating up to 300 degrees centigrade. The dried encapsulated crystals are then collected in a petri dish below for further use as discussed. Concludes our model presentation on the encapsulation of flavors. Thank you.
We have conducted an experiment by ourselves to test whether the encapsulation technique really works.
opinion, the encapsulated milk tasted better than the non-encapsulated one. The encapsulated milk had a more rounded flavor to it, and it had a creamy texture too.
Okay, so Ishani, I'm going to be giving you 2 mango drinks and you need to tell me which one has a better smell and stronger flavor. This is the first one. Okay. Here you go.
I think the second one has a stronger smell and a better flavor.
In my opinion, the flavor of the center fresh is lasting longer and it's getting stronger with every chew.
We would like to end with a small quote. Science is not about buy, it's about buy not. This concludes our presentation about the encapsulation of flavors.
We hope you enjoyed. Thank you.
That presentation was so informative and interesting. Well done. Judges, are there any questions for this group?
I have just one small question. Actually, the process of encapsulation was really enlightening. I never knew about it. But my one question is that, is it possible to have a mixture of both dehydration and encapsulation to increase the shelf life as well as the flavors of the food?
Ma'am, so the encapsulated powders are already dehydrated as they are converted into a solid state from liquid. So this way, in the process of encapsulation, while it is happening, the flavors already gain a longer shelf life.
Okay, thank you. Actually, my question was because you were differentiating between the two methods.
Yes.
So that is the reason why I asked the question. Thank you so much.
I have questions, but I loved your presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
The next group shall be presenting the Techno Waste, a shocking advance in technology. This is an AI-based project on waste management.
Techno Waste by Diyan, Moksh, Neve, Kavya and Morgan. What is waste management? Waste management is the segregation and management of waste. It is mainly segregated into wet and dry garbage when it is dumped. It is either dumped in landfills, incinerated, recycled, reused, or used in composting. Wet waste, which is mainly food, can cause the most hazardous effects on the environment if it's not managed. Food is the biggest cause of waste. How waste is usually managed in the world. So on the left, there is a pie chart that shows what is done with waste after it is taken away by vans. On the right side, there is a pie chart that shows which substances are responsible for the most waste in the world. So we have we've concluded that food is the biggest cause of waste and is usually dumped or incinerated, which can cause many environment-related issues.
Causes of excess waste. Population growth. The increase in the rate of population causes waste as the demand of food increases. Agricultural waste. Agricultural waste has also increased owing to the rise in demand for food. The waste from agriculture is mainly from animal manure, crop remains, worn out agricultural produce, and farm remains. Urbanization. Food demands are a part of urbanization, and as urbanization increases, these wastes also increase. The common wastage of food. We keep buying food that we do not eat and throw away. We order lots of food and we waste most of it. Why? We can give it to someone else.
Effects of mismanaged waste. Groundwater and soil contamination. Groundwater and soil contamination is when toxins released from waste seep into the groundwater and soil and contaminate it. This can affect plant growth and make them wither, causing a food shortage. Air emissions. Air emissions are when chemicals from waste rise into the air and cause pollution. If these chemicals get into food that we eat, it can cause serious problems in the body. Diseases and pests. The waste attracts pests that carry diseases and can be very harmful to workers in the landfills and cause many contagious diseases.
A survey. We recently conducted a survey and we asked two questions, which were, do you all segregate waste? And the responses were 5.3% said no and the rest said yes. But the people who segregate waste, 57.9% of them don't ensure that it goes to all the way to the dump. And the 42.1 people who ensure have asked the people.
So for our model, we made a AI crane. So this AI crane is a AI which controls the crane. So usually people put wet waste in the dry waste dustbin and the dry waste in the wet waste dustbin. So this AI crane controls it and it segregates the waste when it's going to go to the dump. So it works on the principle of vacuum and it's energy efficient, and this helps in the segregation of wet waste, which mainly consists of food, which can attract attention for pests.
So this is our model.
So this is the model. So here you can see that it's segregating the waste. So the yellow waste is the dry waste and the pink waste is the wet waste.
Bibliography. So these are the sites that we visited to make this PPT.
Thank you.
Hats off to the Techno Waste team. Wonderfully presented. Judges, are there any questions for this team?
No, thank you, Vanshika. I don't have a question.
The next group is Greenify, which consists of Veda, Zahi, Dinisha, Mishti, and Kiara. They have built a working model and a website of a solar panel irrigation system. Their long-term aim is to make sure agriculture is renewable.
Our group's name is Greenify, and we have created a model and a website on a solar-powered irrigation system.
Now we will show you our website. Food technology. Food technology is a science branch that deals with the techniques involved in production, processing, preservation, packaging, labeling, quality management, and distribution of food products. The field also involves techniques and processes that are used to transform raw materials into food. Extensive research goes behind making food items edible as well as nutritious.
What is solar energy? Solar power is energy from the sun that is converted into thermal or electrical energy. Solar energy is the cleanest and most abundant renewable energy source available, and the US has some of the richest solar resources in the world. Solar technologies can harness this energy for a variety of uses, including generating electricity, providing light or a comfortable interior environment, and heating water for domestic, commercial, or industrial use. Over to Zahi. What are the benefits of solar energy? The impact on the environment. Solar energy has the least negative impact on the environment compared to any other energy source. It does not produce greenhouse gases and does not pollute the water. It also requires very little water for its maintenance, unlike nuclear power plants, for example, needing 20 times more water. Solar energy production does not create any noise, which is a major benefit, since a lot of solar installations are in urban areas, such as domestic solar panels.
Why using non-renewable energy is harmful to the environment. Many people nowadays are turning to renewable energy for their power. They know that renewables are a necessary alternative to fossil fuels and other non-renewables, which will eventually run out. Most are also aware that renewable energy is kind to the planet and society, but exactly how does non-renewable energy affect the environment? Non-renewables can often pollute the environment and cause other damage, making the switch to renewable energy even more important.
How do solar panels work? Simply put, a solar panel works by allowing photons or particles of light to knock electrons free from atom, generating a flow of electricity. Solar panels
rise many smaller units called photovoltaic cells. Photovoltaic simply means they convert sunlight into electricity. Many cells linked together make up a solar panel.
Rainfed agriculture can be a high-risk venture, particularly with changing rainfall patterns and high-value crops such as fruits and vegetables. Irrigated cropland is twice as productive as rain-fed agriculture, World Development Report 2008. But many farmers do not have access to irrigation infrastructure, including a nearby water source and power to move the water to and through their fields. Combining drip irrigation kits, newly affordable photovoltaic panels, and off-the-shelf 12-volt pumps can result in a cost-effective system for supplying water for irrigation. Solar-powered irrigation has the potential to increase incomes dramatically, particularly for the most remote producers.
Pump irrigation reduces labor for water delivery by targeting water at the crop's roots. Drip irrigation and can reduce weed and disease pressures and increase efficiency of chemical application. Drip irrigation significantly increases water use efficiently. Solar panels and frame. Basic costs. Solar panels, 12V water pump and electric wire, water level switches, PVC piping, connectors, valve, 500 liters water storage tank and stand, filters, PVC cutter, irrigation tape or tubing. These basic materials are available from local suppliers at low cost.
Great work. Judges, are there any questions for the participants of this group?
Actually, I have one small question. I really loved your model, the working model of the solar powered irrigation system, but it would be nice if you could, explain how the working of it. Am I audible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Moving on, finishing off the last project of 7A. Have you ever heard of a combo app and a chatbot that tells you everything you need to know to keep fit? Presenting the Foodology group, who will display a spectacular performance. A detailed research on food and technology and the innovative projects made by them will enhance your knowledge.
Greetings of the day. At the outset, I would like to thank Father Crispino, Meena ma'am, Anita ma'am, Mandira ma'am, and the entire team of teachers who have made this Science Week possible, whereby we students have got an opportunity to showcase our talent and ability in the field of science. I would like to invite my friend Siddhant to introduce us to food robots. I would now also like to invite Rizwin to explain our model Wacky Wheel with Siddhant.
This is a wacky wheel which contains various types of healthy and unhealthy foods. Some examples of foods are sprout, which contains fibers and it helps in digestion food process. Second, French fries is loaded with various fats.
Milk contains carbohydrates, vitamin A, and vitamin D. And the burger contains 740 calories and it takes a lot of time to burn those calories. Now I'm going to share a timetable which we made with you, with all of you all. So our preferred way to use this timetable is by eating the dishes and foods that are suggested in our app and in our wacky wheel. For example, for breakfast, you can eat some fruits and salads and like milk and cereal. Then for lunch, you can eat fish or chicken with rice. For snacks, you can have some dry or boiled peanuts. And then for dinner, you can have healthy fats like pasta and you can have tomato soup. So we recommend filling out the timetable every day and what you ate for breakfast, lunch, snacks, and dinner. Thank you. Now Krish will present our app.
For this exhibition, we were assigned the topic foodology, food and technology. We all agreed that we will work around the topic, and therefore we decided to make an app, a Powtoon, a diet wheel model, and a log. I am glad to present to you all an app designed by me, which we have named Foodology. It caters to the people who are health conscious. This app can also be referred to as a combo app because it contains intricate details you need to know to maintain a healthy lifestyle. We have a foodie chatbot called Healthy Me, which can help you know more about food and the calories it contains. So here we go. To begin with, you need to enter basic information such as your name, your contact number, and your age. It consists of 5 options such as what food do you prefer eating, how many calories do you consume daily, what food should you eat, do you exercise regularly, and reckoners. What food do you eat? This page provides a list of all-time favorite foods such as pizza, salad, burger, etc. By clicking on the buttons, it will show you the calories, proteins, carbohydrates, fat, and whether or not it is healthy. This pizza has 523 calories, 23.7 grams of protein, 65.6 grams of carbohydrates, 18.7 grams of fat. And this is an 8-inch pizza. This is a this is 300 gram porridge. It has 327 calories, 14.4 grams of protein, 38.9 grams of carbohydrate, 13.7 grams of fat. After viewing all the food items, you can then enter your favorite food after seeing the nutrient content in each food. It helps you know about the number of calories the dish has and if it is healthy for you to eat to keep fit. Below are the buttons which lead you to the next screen or back to the main screen respectively. Now let us move on to the calories consumption page. How many calories do you consume? This page helps you track your calorie intake. You need to enter the number of calories you had during breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner. Thereafter, the app calculates the total number of calories consumed by you. According to your age, the app processes and tells you the number of calories consumed and by how much, and also leaves a comment below too. Here we go to the next page. What food should you eat? This screen gives you a brief idea on what types of food you should eat, which are rich in proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. The options are both in non-vegetarian and vegetarian. Foods such as fish and beans are rich in proteins. Potatoes and oats are rich in carbohydrates, and chips and chocolates are rich in fat. Let us move on to the exercise page to track out the exercise intensity. Do you exercise regularly? Here, you again need to enter the number of kilometers this time, which will calculate and display the output by informing you if you have exercised more than you have to or vice versa. It is suggested to enter the number of kilometers walked by you up to 1 decimal places, with the purpose that it is easier for you to measure the distance the next time. Although, if you have consumed more calories, then you are supposed to, you can consider exercising more to burn those calories. Get ready, because we are going to have a look at the mind-blowing reckoners. Guess what? Down below are a duo of reckoners, the greedy chatbot known as Healthy Me and a thrilling and fun-loving game called Healthier Junk. Would not it be fun to have a friendly chatbot whom you can ask everything related to food. It tells you from what nutrients to which food are rich in that nutrient. In short, if you go to say, this is like a dietitian present in an app. Let us try it out. I guess you will be exhausted sitting there and listening. Buckle up because we are going to play a game. This game has two characters, a wizard and a knight. The sandwiches thrown by the wizard signify healthy food. Your task is to eat as many sandwiches as possible you can, but be aware of the fireballs which designate junk food. You can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move. And if you touch the fireballs, you get a -1. And if you eat as many sandwiches as you can, you get a +1. Thank you.
That was a very well thought of and presented idea. Judges, are there any questions for the makers of Foodology?
No, I don't have any questions, but I really love the app.
I love the app too, and I don't have any questions for this.
With that, we come to the end of the presentations for today. I now request Ms. Anupa and Ms. Ritu to share their valuable insights.
I actually was quite impressed by all the presentations. I think each participant, probably when we were in grade 7, we couldn't think of doing such extensive research work. So I'm really impressed and happy with it. It was difficult to give score, I think, for this particular grade. Yeah, that's all. All the best to these.
Yeah, good afternoon, children. I would like to thank Meena ma'am for giving us the privilege to witness such enthralling presentations. And I do agree with Anupa ma'am that yes, in grade 7, we would not have been able to make such lovely presentations. And I would like to congratulate each and every participant because every one of you is a winner. And we can see the future of our country with so many upcoming scientists. But as Anupa ma'am said, it was really very difficult to score because each one of you have done a fabulous job. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Ms. Anupa and Ms. Ritu, for your valuable inputs. The results are compiled, so participants, we wish you good luck. May we request Ms. Priya to announce the results?
Anita ma'am, if you would like to share some words and encourage other students over here. In the meantime, Ms. Priya will be compiling the results. Anita ma'am, if you are there. Vanshika, you can change over to the grid view, okay?
Students
us a minute. Just hang around. We'll just get back to you all.
In the meantime, Anita ma'am, would you like to share some words and speak to the grade 7A and 7B students?
Yeah, you know, from morning I've been watching the science exhibition, this virtual one. I'm really amazed at what the students have done. Okay. In fact, for grade 7, I've come in a little later because there were other issues to attend to in school. But whatever little I've seen, I'm so impressed. I can't believe that you all are students of grade 6 and 7 who have put up this. And each one, and you all have worked fabulously as a group one, which is really good. Okay. And two, what you all have done, such thorough research, and the presentations were like remarkable. So those that I've missed, I'm definitely going to watch on the recording. Okay. But kudos to the whole science team, the teachers, all the teachers, Mandira ma'am and Hina ma'am, you all are grade 7 teachers, right? And Mangala ma'am was grade 6.
Yes, ma'am.
Lot of effort has gone into this, okay? And on all counts. And for this whole week, one surprise after another, you know, right from the assembly, then to the panel discussion and the quiz. Okay, some of those questions in the quiz even I found difficult to answer. Okay, but you all did a fab job. And these presentations are remarkably well done, so well presented. I'm happy that we said there won't be other classes and everyone attends this. Okay, so thank you very much, really. Okay, thank you. Thank you. And all the best. We still have to see grade 9 and 10. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, the judges also, and students all were very good. All the participants of grade 7A, 7B, especially the compares, handling both the roles. So sometimes comparing, sometimes, you know, seeing over the glitches and announcing, managing the thing, and also over there giving your presentations. It was very, very wonderfully done. Miss Hina, would you like to share something?
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, and Anita ma'am and the other teachers for coming and watching the presentations, and students. All of you have done a fabulous job. Great work, great efforts. And ma'am, it's all their efforts, okay?
I know, I heard. So I'm really impressed, okay? And Priya ma'am has been leading the team very, very well. So we must start with her, okay? Well done. Okay, enjoy the rest of that. So we are done for the day. Or
ma'am,
hello.
Just a few minutes because Priya will be announcing the results.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Priya miss, are you lagging for me or we can't hear you properly?
Yeah, she is lagging for me as well.
Okay, wait, I'll ask her to come here and announce.
We have Miss Ritu, great. Can you now? Oh,
Miss Priya, you have to repeat that because.
Is it better now? Is it better now?
Much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am so glad I was not the judge for grade 7 exhibition, because if I was a judge, I wouldn't know whom to declare as a winner, because each one of you was much better than the other, and I'm so glad I didn't have that difficult job to do. Okay, so while we have Miss Anupa and Miss Ritu just totaling the results for grade 7th, okay, I would like to, before I start, I would like to congratulate everyone. It was such a perfect presentation. There was no glitches, no internet issues. The presentations went on from start to finish so very smoothly. That shows if there's a will, there's always a way. Okay, grade 6, I would now want to start with announcing the results for grade 6. In the third position, We have a tie, and the winners are sports and medicine and sports and fitness. Sports and medicine, Anish, Sanya, Mikhail, and sports and fitness, Anika, Jahan, Hitanshi, and Ashwath. In the second position, again we have a tie, sports and psychology, Kian, Vedika, Zerik, Sheldon. Sports and physics, Siddhant, Anushka, Daniel, and Arin. And the winners of grade 6 science exhibition for the year 2020-21 is sports and psychology, Adam, Aditi, Rajveer, and Yashendra. Congratulations to all our grade 6 winners, and congratulations to all those who put up the exhibits too. The winner over here really is science. Thank you, and please wait till we get the winners for grade 7.
From grade 7, the results are here. I would request Priya ma'am to announce the results.
Where is it? Just give me a minute.
Thank you, Miss Anupa and Miss Ritu. Since morning, you have been listening and listening and listening. It must be a very tiring day. But thank you so much.
No, the pleasure was entirely ours.
Yeah, the children were all very good.
They were
Starting
too
from the
good,
little
yeah.
ones in the morning and now
Absolutely.
also grade 7. So it went off quite well.
Yeah, it
Tomorrow
went
we
off
have
very
the
well.
senior ones presenting.
Yeah.
And attendance also, Anita ma'am, like both the days, this time the whole day it was quite good. So
excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
But I need to see the names of the.
I think we had a tough time writing the scores, giving the scores for grade 7 students. Taking a lot of time even totaling.
They were so good. It's a tough task, as Priya ma'am said, really.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, miss.
Okay, coming up in the third position is the project titled Foodology. In the second position, we have a tie where we have the second position shared by RoboChef and extending shelf life of food items. And the winner of grade 7th science exhibition is encapsulation. Congratulations to all the winners and keep it up and continue your research work and grow learning science. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, respected
Miss.
Father,
Yeah.
Meena ma'am, judges, coordinators, and teachers for your presence and encouraging us. A special thanks to the IT department of our school. We would also like to thank our science teachers, Ms. Mandira and Ms. Hina, for their constant support and encouragement. This event would not have been possible without them. Thank you all participants. Requesting Arul sir to please end the webinar. Have a nice day ahead.
Wonderful.